Hi, my name is Johnny Erickson Tata, and I'm so grateful to have this chance to speak to you. As you can see, I'm in a wheelchair. Back in 1967, I was athletic, I was healthy, and I was a teenager who took a reckless dive into very shallow water. When my head hit the bottom, it snapped my head back, breaking my neck. In an instant, I became a quadriplegic, unable to use my hands or my legs. When doctors told me that I would never walk or never be able to use my hands, I sank into depression. I felt like my life was over. After all, I could no longer do the things that I so enjoyed doing. I mean, what use could my life have now? What could possibly be my purpose in living? Now, I may not be your age. I'm not a qualified senior, but I imagine that you can identify with my story, because as a senior, you may be unable to walk, and you cannot do the things that you used to enjoy doing. Perhaps like me, you are in a wheelchair, and maybe your struggle with depression, you're feeling like your life is over, it's all you can think about. Well, think again, because I'm here to tell you that as a senior, you have a wonderful richness in your life and an irrefutable value to your soul. Let me explain what I mean. After my accident, I realized that I had been putting way too much emphasis on physical things, what I could do or what I could not do. My accident helped me to see that there is a more important aspect to life, and that is who we are spiritually, who we are on the inside. I began to see that God had a plan and a purpose for my life, and part of that purpose was to know Him. That's when I began to spend time in the Bible. I wanted to see if God really could help me find peace and joy again, living in a wheelchair. Plus, I wanted to know if God really understood all the suffering I was going through. Well, I did not have to look far into the Bible. When I read how God's Son, Jesus Christ, when I read how He suffered, well, it convinced me that God understood hardship and heartache. And He not only understood suffering, He went through it in the worst kind of way. When Jesus died on the cross, He was opening up the way for us to experience the kind of peace and joy that He enjoyed with God. And all He was asking me to do was to lay down my fear and my doubt, as well as my stubborn pride and my selfishness. In other words, God was asking me to lay down my sin, that selfish, self-centeredness, that stubbornness, that itchiness to get things your own way. And once I did, not only did I have a new relationship with God through Jesus Christ, I now had peace in my heart, and I even had joy. Oh my goodness, I had the assurance that the suffering that I was experiencing, it had a purpose. It was to make me more patient, to help me lean harder on God. My suffering was like a sheepdog, growling and snapping at my heels and driving me into God's arms every day. My suffering also helped me to learn how to care about others who were hurting. It helped deepen my prayer life. It taught me how to endure and persevere. Plus, once I had come to trust Jesus Christ, I had the assurance of a home in heaven, where I will get back my new body and so much more. Oh, what wonderful hope I had. God gave me a new purpose in my wheelchair, and that was to share His love with others, as well as to pray for them. And this is something that you can do. True, living in a wheelchair is not easy, and your surroundings are not the same as they were when you were back at home with your family. It can be very hard. Living in a convalescent center, it's just tough. Well, let me tell you, I have lived more than 47 years in this wheelchair, and I can say that you don't need to long for the past. No, don't look back at old memories. Your life can have richness and meaning now, as you deepen your walk now with Jesus. What is the purpose for your life? Well, God will unfold that to you as you trust in Him, as you share His love with others, whether it's through a kind deed for your roommate, or an encouraging word you might share with a nurse or a staff member in the hallway here at the convalescent center. It might be the prayers that you offer up on behalf of your family or your friends who live here with you. It could just be having a great attitude and a bright perspective on your day, saying a cheery good morning to those you greet when you get up and when you go to breakfast. There are all kinds of ways you can share God's love, because I'm convinced that everything that you do down here on earth has a direct bearing on your capacity for joy in heaven. So as I often say, please do not waste your suffering. Of all the things you might waste with the time that you have left here on earth, please do not waste your suffering. Don't waste your hardship. Don't waste your problems. Let those things be, well, like that sheepdog that drives you into the arms of God every day. Let your suffering be a reminder that there are more important things in life than walking or running. Let your suffering show you that the physical aspects of life are so fleeting, they're so transitory, here today and gone tomorrow. But the spiritual aspect of life is going to last for all of eternity. So don't waste your hardships, friend. Let them be the very thing that makes you wake up in the morning needing God and seeking His help. I'll tell you how I wake up every single morning. I know my girlfriend, I can hear her come in the front door, and I know that she is running water for coffee in the kitchen. I can hear her. And I know that in a few minutes she's going to be coming into my bedroom with a cup of coffee and a happy hello. And sometimes I'm lying in bed and I'm closing my eyes and thinking, oh God, I'm so discouraged about the day, and it's not even begun. I don't have a smile for this friend of mine who's coming in the room in a moment with that cup of coffee. She's going to put my legs through exercise motion. She's going to give me a bed bath, do my toileting routines, strap on my corset, get me dressed, help me in my wheelchair, push me to the bathroom, brush my hair, brush my teeth, blow my nose. Oh God, I'm overwhelmed and the day has hardly begun. Oh Jesus, I need you. I need your joy. I need your perspective on the day. Please show up big time. May I please borrow your smile, God? Because if you do, then I can give it to my girlfriend who's going to be helping me in a few moments. And you know what? God never fails to answer that prayer. He always gives me His smile. So that by 7:35 in the morning, when my friend does come into the bedroom to help me go through my get-up routines, I have a smile for her, and it's been sent straight from heaven. That's what it means to need God desperately every morning. And I think that's a great way to wake up. I think that's the Christian way to wake up. That's a very good, a very biblical way to wake up. Needing the Lord desperately. And maybe the really handicapped people are the ones who, when they get up, they throw back the covers, jump out of bed, take a quick shower, scarf down breakfast, and zoom out the front door on automatic cruise control. Did you know that if you live like that, God resists you? God resists the proud, it says in the Bible, but He gives grace to the humble. And who are the humble? Just people like you and me who realize that we need God, and we need Him really badly. Friend, I doubt that we will meet one another on this side of eternity, but I hope to see you in heaven. And I will, if indeed you place your hand in the hand of Jesus Christ and trust Him in the midst of your hardships. He promises in the Bible that He will never leave you. He will never forsake you. He will be with you not only to the end, but He's going to carry you through the end, all the way to the other side of eternity. That's comforting, isn't it? So get to know the God of the Bible and His Son, Jesus Christ. God bless you, and thank you so much for listening.